Hello and welcome back to our Shack Computer series. Getting your ham radio shack all ready for a nice, fresh Linux computer. And, since the last episode, I tried to compile some SDR++ for you. And let's just say it did not work out very well in the Fedora environment. To the point I got a little frustrated because we had to do the SDR++ deep dive, and I really wanted to test out the software on the Shack computer. So I did something extreme. I switched computers, and I did a complete clean install of Garuda Linux, which is an Arch-based Linux installation. And let's go ahead and switch over to that now, which it's right here. I'm actually recording from it and everything. So this computer's a little bit more powerful than the last one, and it's a bit different. So this computer here, which you might not even be able to see that. Let's just see if we can zoom that in. Again, I'm using a little different. A little different a setup here. I guess we'll just deal with the small screen for right now, and the wiggly windows. Wow, look at that, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, we have Garuda Linux. It's running here on my Dell Precision. It's an M4600. It's an older Dell Precision laptop. It's been up for a while here. It is an i7 computer, so it does have an 8-core i7. It's just an older i7, and it has an older AMD Radeon graphics chipset, and you can kind of see that there. It does have 32 gigs of RAM, which makes it a bit more of a potent machine to do stuff with. So yeah, it's a little different. So in the last video that you saw, episode 3, we had restored all of our applications, and I wanted to show you that I actually have it all running here as well. And I did basically the same process. However, with Garuda and the Arch user repository being at your fingertips, there are some different choices I made with regards to the package installations and whatnot. Now, I will have to say that I've only used the GUI for adding and removing software. So that is one difference that I've done here with the Garuda Linux. And basically, I went in here and just searched for CQR log. And these are the options that it gave me for all the various packages. And this is the one I installed here, because you can see I have the remove button attached to it. So I am running version 2.5.2. I also installed WSJTX, very much just the same way. And I grabbed the one right out of the package here, WSJTX running 2.4.0. FLRig, again, same thing. FLRig is right there. And what else did I install? I installed... did we install QSS TV on this one? No, we didn't. But I decided I didn't care for that right now. But maybe we'll come back to that. But a cool thing I installed was this little bad boy, SDR++. So we're going to get to that. I just want to show you everything working on this system. As you can see, I have a bunch of stuff actually running down here in the taskbar. We'll just ignore that for now. But here's Garuda Linux. This is their homepage, garudalinux.org. And the version that I downloaded is the Dragonized, the Garuda KDE Dragonized Edition. Now, I will admit that I'm not a huge fan of of KDE, only because I'm not used to the workflow, so you'll probably see me fumbling around a little bit. But I'm getting used to it. It's not horrible. I'm not sure if I'd like the toolbar for Windows being up here in the top. But again, that could be just me. So your mileage may vary. They have a couple editions here. They have the regular KDE Dragonized edition, which is the one I have. They also have a gaming edition if your computer's stout enough to do some gaming. And we have reviewed this on the podcast and kind of mentioned it as one of the sexiest looking distros. Probably just because I do really like the colorful icon replacements and stuff like that they use, as well as the dark mode of everything. Your mileage may vary. They do have a light mode of this, and obviously you can probably change out these icons and stuff like that. But hey, we're going to try to deal with it. And I'm not going to reduce the screen size this time, so make sure you're watching on a big screen. I'll try to zoom in stuff if possible. But yeah, let's just kind of show what we got going on here. So I'll just go up to the start menu here, which you can also get from the super key, your Windows key, have you? Because I don't have any of the icons in my desktop down here. So the first thing we'll do is we'll run FLRig, and you can see it is connected to my rig, which is currently on a on oddball frequency. Because I was just hey, there's somebody calling CQ. How about that? So that's up and running. Normally, the next thing I bring up is CQR log. So I'm just typing CQR log in the start menu. And in fact, I'm not even looking at what it's bringing up. I'm just assuming it's going to bring up the first thing, which is the one I want. That's my normal workflow using GNOME anyway. So yeah, this is something that pops up occasionally when you bring up your logbook. I did the exact same thing. I copied over my my CQR log directory from the .config from my backup, and everything just worked beautifully. This sometimes you get this when you come in here. It wants to update the QSL managers database that's inside here. You just click yes, and then let's see if there's anything else that it wants to update. I don't see anything else. So this all works exactly the same. So I can go in here and show my QSO list, and you can see I haven't had a contact in a while. It's been a few months since I've actually done any contacts, which is not odd for me. I go on and off quite often with this. But anyway, so that's CQR log. Let's go ahead and bring up WSJTX in remote mode. And in fact, there it is, 2.4.0. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, we're not on the right frequency, so we can just click this and click on 14074. And let's see if we start getting some decodes here. Oh, yep, I see all that fancy stuff sitting there. Oh, yes. There's the decodes. So again, this is all dark mode, so you can switch this all to light mode. I've updated some of the coloring, so the highlight looks right. It's just bright green. I do like the dark mode interface. Another thing that I did install that someone asked me about was a companion application for WSJTX called Grid Tracker, and we have talked about this on the show. We've had at least one deep dive. Let me bring up that for you. Can't type. Grid Tracker. There we go. Just press enter. So here's Grid Tracker. An update's available. Let's just click no thanks for right now. We'll come back to that. So there's Grid Tracker. It's connected in. You can see that it has found that my radio is right there, and it's sitting on 14074. Now I haven't imported my my ADIF log into this thing, and I haven't really set it up much, but you can see it is working as intended. I would definitely check out our deep dives on Grid Tracker, and possibly Russ will do a video in using Grid Tracker, because I don't really use it for anything more than just, ew, it looks pretty. It's a map. It's not really in my workflow. I don't do any hunting for calls or hunting for grid squares or anything else like that. Normally when I get on WSJTX doing some FT8, I'm just playing around. I don't look for anything specific. I just hit CQ and answer people, and that's it. I don't don't go and try to contact certain things and collect certain things. Maybe one day I'll get back to doing that. It's not critical. I do not need any wallpaper in my shack. Plus, my shack is my garage, so it doesn't have that look and feel of a professional area that needs stuff mounted on the walls and stuff like that. I have plenty of certificates and plaques sitting in my desk in the basement room office, but my shack is too dirty to be in that office. So we have that, and we have FL Digi as well. I'll just bring up FL Digi here. I don't know if I actually configured it to use it yet, but there you go. It's in the same state as it was for the other one. You can see that I picked up where the rig is, and you can see actually, it's still stuck in that same mode. It thinks it's running NAQP, which was probably the last contest I ran on here. So check 1 2. Oh yeah, and it's using the audio device of the microphone, so you can see me peeking the mic. Test. Yeah, so you see pump it there. Anyway, so that's all configured except for it's not pointed to the right audio device. We can easily go in there and change that. Let's see, config dialog. Now this is the only part about dark mode on some apps. It makes this stuff look absolutely horrible. So yeah, your mileage will definitely vary here. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, this is going to be weird too. So I will say that pipewire is on the system, and it looks like some of these apps like FL Digi is having a slight issue with which device it's actually using. So I'm going to have to revisit this stuff or totally get rid of pipewire out of the system, because it definitely looks like it's confusing some of these applications that are maybe not quite up to date as much. Although this is a fairly recent version, it obviously does not see the device, the capture side of my sound device. So something is definitely broken there. Now, if you go into the setup over here, so let's get out of that. No, let's just see here. Okay, I just wanted to see what that menu was. Confirm quit, yes. No, you don't have to save configuration changes. But if you come into WSJX's configuration, the audio devices are definitely there. As you can see, it sees an input and an output. And I think it has to do something with the way in which they're grabbing the devices from the system. Obviously, this is the right way with WSJTX. The way that FL Digi's doing it is wrong. It may work for most cases, but it's obviously not working on these pipewire systems. Although I believe we saw it fine on the Fedora system. The thing you didn't see on the last video is when I went to launch QSSTV and tried setting it up, I had the exact same issue. It would not see the capture device. So I really think there's a gap here in these pipewire systems that are kind of messing up these older applications. Or let's say, well, I mean, FL Digi is actively developed. However, that it probably still uses some fairly archaic methods of grabbing the audio devices, and I think that that's now showing up. So I haven't checked the latest dev builds that he's been working on. I am on the mailing list, so I can keep up with it, but I don't use FL Digi that much, so it's not a huge concern at this point. But anyway, the thing I wanted to get to, besides showing you the fact that I got sort of everything working that was working before, minus FL Digi now, I didn't even realize that because I don't use it that much, let's minimize that. We can leave that up. Oh, geez, a little cough. Is SDR++. Now, again, I I installed SDR++ from the add remove hardware or software. Sorry, I guess Arch's Software Center here, and I searched up SDR++, and the SDR++ Git is the only option. So this actually sits there and rides the Git master repository or repo. And you can see what files it provides. If you click on the files, you can look at the dependencies. You can also go in and look at the build on these AUR packages. So before you build it, you can go through and look at everything to ensure that it's not going to do something malicious. And I highly recommend doing that. However, you do kind of, this is a buyer beware type operating system, and and using the AUR, which is the Arch user repository. The thing I always mess up is trying to remember what AUR stands for. These are users that put these together. Not always a commercial entity puts these together, but users. So your mileage may vary. However, if you go to the SDR++ site, which is coming up here in Fire Dragon, let's see if that loads. There it goes. You can see for Arch-based systems, he does recommend the SDR++ Git package, which is right here. So you can definitely go to the AUR here, the Arch Linux user repository, and check out exactly what's getting put into the system. It shows you all the dependencies and everything else. Also, people will comment on exactly what they think of what's going on here and stuff like that. When I installed it, the one question I came into was what this guy came into. There was a question prompted, says, do you want to build GLFW for Wayland or GLFW for X11? This system is using X11. It is not using Wayland. So I actually made the mistake the first time I did Wayland. Nothing worked because I didn't know. And then I just basically reinstalled it with the correct options, and lo and behold, it actually worked. So let's take a quick look at SDR++, which I wanted to show building. But literally, I didn't have to build anything because I clicked the install button in the repository, and lo and behold, it did it all for me. SDR++, here it is. So let's bring it up. We just did the deep dive on this episode. I believe it was 431. Let's just take a quick gander at our website here, lhspodcast.info. Yep, there it is, episode 431, the SDR++ deep dive. The latest release over there, like we mentioned, the podcast is still 1.0.3. So if we go back to his website here and we click on releases, the most recent release is 1.0.3. So when you're on Git, though, you will get the revision that is currently in build process. So which is 1.0.4 is in build. So we'll minimize that. So this is the version that I have, SDR 1.0.4, and it was built September 29th, which was yesterday on my calendar, because today is the 30th. So there we go. I have mine hooked up to my RTL SDR, and it's set here. So let's just go ahead and see if this works. I'm going to also make sure that the audio is coming through. So let's hit play. And you should hear it. And I'm probably not much louder than it. So you can let me bring it down just a little bit in the mix here. So I'm a little on top of it. So this is what it looks like. We're just happen to be on I'm going to pause that there. So don't want YouTube to deplatform me or something like that for doing commercial music on here. But anyway, this is a NPR local radio station here, local affiliate, I guess you would call it, here in Billings, Montana. And as you can see, my little SDR dongle is receiving it quite fine. I'm going to switch it over to HF so we can avoid getting in any kind of trouble here. And let's just go ahead and set it to something we know is going to be active. 74, and we'll go to upper sideband, and I'll hit play again. So I did switch this direct sampling to Q branch on this, and that's how my device gets activated. And yeah, look, those are those labels we were talking about. There's the 20-meter ham band is perfectly labeled. And this is, let's see, this is the sliders I was talking that you can adjust your waterfall. Let's see, let me go in a little tighter here. We can zoom into the waterfall. So now we're seeing the entire spectrum. Now I am on the wrong antenna. I'm on I'm on a 2-meter vertical. So let's switch to an HF antenna real quick here. Which, surprising for a 2-meter vertical, look at those traces. That's pretty strong, huh? Let's give it an HF antenna. Let's see what we got. Okay, yeah. Oh, now we got some signal strength coming in there. So that's a HF antenna. This is a vertical out in my backyard. And we can go ahead and flip around. Let's see if there's anything up on, what is it, 18100 for 17 meters. Oh yeah, 17 meters is a bit hot. And again, this is let's just kind of zoom back out a little bit so we see the whole band. And let's bring up the noise level just a little bit so we can see these traces. Looks like we got some activity over here to the right. So let's we're in USB, so let's just kind of go right over here. And I have mine set to auto center. That's this little feature right here. There's somebody calling CQ.
This is Kilo Charlie 8 Victor Romeo Papa calling CQ17.
Yeah. So that's working quite well. And yeah, you can even tune down to down to AM band here if you want to do broadcast. Let's see, zoom in, and let's switch to AM. So there's a AM, little sampling of the AM stations here in Billings.
At tight end for Virginia, so that's a loss. But I'll take the points with the count.
Yeah, so this
securely link your financial accounts.
This all works pretty good, and it's kind of fun if you want to play around with that. Another one that I installed, which again was kind of plug and play, was SDR Angel, which is a bit complicated to install because you do have to compile everything. There are a couple of not app images. There might be an app image out for it, but I've had really hit and miss experience with it. And this one is a little bit more. This would be a bloated SDR application, I guess, if SDR++ was bloat free. Only because this actually allows you to chain extra stuff over here, and we have done a deep dive on this as well. And I have to familiarize myself with this to kind of run through it, but I do have to say I have used this before, and it actually is kind of slick. So, because you can do, it has all the decoding stuff in here. So if you want to decode DMR, it's in there. If you want to do whatever, it's all in there. So yeah, SDR Angel, really slick application. What was the other thing that we wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, so one of the other apps that you looked in the past is called DudeStar, and DudeStar is of course digital voice, and this one as well is generally not in a repo, but you can build it. It actually builds quite easily. This one you can do D-Star, Fusion, NXDN, P25, M17, All-Star, all directly from the application, which is kind of cool. So let's see if this is in the, and I'm using my lazy button here, the Garuda Welcome Center. I highly appreciate this because I don't have to link to that all the time. Let's see if we can just find it in the Software Center and see if this is really like the most amazing. Oh, look at that. This is the most amazing Linux distribution for ham radio operators, minus the pipewire issue, which I think that came with one of the apps I installed, and I might try to remove pipewire if that's going to continue to be an issue. But yeah, look at that. So Dude Star, I would click into this. I would take a look at a couple things. I take a look at the build files, and I see who's the maintainer of it. Take a quick gander at what's going to get installed. It's going to install some Qt 5, some Pulse Audio, LibVorbis. So some of that stuff's already there. Dynafont, nothing too scary. It's grabbing the package directly from his repo. That's always a good sign. You kind of want to look at where the source is coming from, because this is where there might be an issue. It's coming from a different source. And then I'm looking at the build. Look, it's pretty straightforward. Package name, we're QMaking and making, nothing special. And when it installs, it throws a icon on top, and that's it. So I don't see any problems with any of that. So yeah, hey, let's run the magic, and let me show you how simple it is with the Arch system. So I click the build button. It tells me here that there's one pending operation. I hit apply. And then if there's anything that needs to happen, it's going to throw up some extra dialogue here. It says, okay, I'm going to build this, and this is the only thing I'm installing. So out of those requirements, the only thing I didn't already have in my system was this Dynafont. And I'm okay adding a new font to the system. I say that's fine. Sometimes you'll actually see updates to other packages here, and that's just because it looked at the package cache and said, oh, geez, you can update this package. So you might see that when you go and install things inside of Arch. So let me hit apply. It's going to prompt you for your super secret password that you run on your shack computer. And we can actually click this button and see what it's actually doing. We can see that, oh yeah, look, it's cloning the Git repo. And it's doing some compiling right now. There's the compiling occurring. So if you want to watch this, you can actually watch it live and see what's going on. It's not very exciting, but if you want to look at compile behaviors and error messages and warnings and stuff like that, this is where you're going to go and see them live. Of course, it logs everything as well, so you can go back and look at the log. Should something not happen right, or something else occurs that you need to research that. But I've had pretty good luck so far. And this is going along quite nicely. You can hear me leaning against my desk. Let me move my chair. Let me bang into the desk here. La 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 la. Okay, make the window all wiggly and stuff like that. So fun. Yeah, here's one of these warnings. Not that big a deal. You'll see these when you compile manually as well. Some of it looks scary, but don't worry about it. So we can go back to the kiddie view where it just says you, hey, I'm building it. But yeah, you can go back in and out, see what's going on here. Just waiting for the all okay. Now again, you are compiling this. You are not downloading a binary package, so it's not pre-compiled for your system. A couple of advantages to that, as well as it's optimized for your system if they've got the optimization flags turned on, and your kernel revision and everything else. So it takes advantage of your very specific system. Oh, look at that. And yeah, look at that. Transaction successfully finished. Okay, so let's get out of this. And we'll get rid of that. And we'll just hit the old start button and type in dude. And look at that, Dude Star. And there we go. Dude Star is set up here. And this one is set up to use OS default. See again, look. You can see all the devices. It's new software. This is what it is. We got to get these other software packages updated so it actually can look at all of the devices so we can see everything. They're obviously being enumerated. Yeah. So anyway, Dude Star, we have done another deep dive on that. Jeez, which episode was that? Let's just type in Dude Star. See if I can get that right. Yeah, 393, episode 393 is our Dude Star deep dive. And you can find out all about that and how that works from the, I believe we had the author on there. Yeah, Doug was with us. So, so yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give you anything that more than what you're going to find out from that episode. But yeah, so this will definitely get you going on all the digital modes without having to buy a digital radio, which is kind of slick because you can connect into reflectors and whatnot and listen into, you know, some popular nets, what have you, in the digital landscape that's out there. This is also really cool for things like using it for Jamboree on the air. If you don't have all these digital radios, but you want to have your Joda kids all participate on digital radios, this is an opportunity to use this application, which is cross-platform. You can compile it for other systems. I don't believe there is a Windows build anymore, or a Windows build supported. But hey, we're not talking about Windows. This is Linux. But yeah, this will definitely get you on all those modes. So check out Dude Star and check out our podcast on it, 393, episode 393, and check that out. So anyway, I just wanted to give you an update since I had switched systems, and this is what the new system looks like. I might go back and, because I still have that system, it's sitting on the desk. It's just pushed out to the far right now until I review what I broke on it, because I did kind of mess something up when I was compiling SDR++ on it, and it was all of a sudden not very happy because I had probably manually compiled some librtl SDR stuff when I already had dev packages installed. But the build process for SDR++ for some reason did not see them. So I think I made some missteps. I did record it, so I can go back and look at it. All the mistakes I made. But I don't think I'll share that with you. But if you want to try something different that we have talked about in the past, this Garuda Linux looks pretty slick. And I think I'm going to keep it on here for a while and use it as my my Shack daily driver. So check it out, Garuda Linux. It's over at garudalinux.org. They have some other versions like an XFCE version and a GNOME version, as well as a LXQt Win and a Wayfire. I've never heard of that. Yeah, all kinds of different spins. Depending upon what kind of windowing environment that you like, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think this so far has been one of my best Arch experiences. And I mean, and this is the joke, like the next update that I put on the system could just end my love affair for Arch. So it could happen at any time, I'm telling you. Anyway, check out our podcast. We record Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central, and we have a Discord. Come join us on our Discord channel. We have the link right here on on the website, so you can click that and come right in. Our YouTube channel, which you're already on because you're watching this video, is there as well. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and probably some irrelevant stuff. No, I guess not. You can find us on Reddit as well. We do have a subreddit in there. All we do is we basically post the episodes in there. Once in a while we get comments on it, but it's not very frequent. Anyway, you can hear my notifications going off. I got to run because I do record these live while I'm doing some stuff. So we'll talk to you later, and see you in the next episode. Who knows what we'll be installing or trying out next. 73.